Welcome back to Colorado Sports Connection. We're talking with Mike Evans, and we are going to now talk about Broncos football. Mike, the season's here. This Sunday, Broncos Jacksonville. Now, I've been listening to you now for the last 2 years, and when the Broncos brought in Kyle Orton, boy, people just hated that move. But you were a big supporter of Kyle Orton. Why is that?
Well, it played out over two different levels. First of all, I never felt that Jay Cutler was all that, and that by giving up on Jay Cutler, you were giving up on sure greatness. I just never believed that. I think that there were too many issues with Cutler, with his leadership, with his throwing mechanics, with his decision making, that I just didn't feel like this was the end of the organization by letting him go. So that was one reason why I said give Kyle Orton a chance. The other is that I think that there are different ways to win in this league. As a quarterback, there seems to be this perception, Daryl, that, well, if he doesn't have a big arm, he can't win in this league. I completely disagree with that. Sure. If you look around at the top quarterbacks in the NFL, how many of them have howitzers for arms? Tom Brady doesn't have a huge arm. Peyton Manning doesn't have a huge arm. Drew Brees doesn't have a huge arm. But what they have is they have a complete understanding of the offense that they're running. They are smart, they make good decisions, they get the ball to where it needs to be, and they're great leaders. And somebody like a Kyle Orton is somebody that I look at and say, give him a shot, okay? Give him that opportunity. He seems like a smart quarterback to me. I believe he can make the throws that are necessary to be made, and let him see what he can do once he's been into an offense, a system that he's had a chance to be in for a while, develop some continuity, develop some confidence, sure, and then see what he can do. Before we just completely throw this guy on the trash heap, give him that opportunity that some other quarterbacks have had to show what they can do.
Okay. Now, last year, you took a lot of heat for supporting Kyle Orton. Mm-hmm. Now, tell us how the tide has changed a little bit with your calls this year, with the callers coming in.
There's sort of a begrudging feeling from some of the fans of, okay, he's not as horrible as I thought he was, but I'm still not convinced. And I'm cool with that. I'm okay with that because, as you said, we've got to see what he can do in year two. Is he noticeably improved in year two from year one? I think he can be better than what we saw last year, but there's still some skepticism out there, and I get that. But what I do sense that has been a bit of a shift for Bronco fans is that they're at least now looking at Kyle Orton a little bit differently in that it's like, okay, he's doing some things that I didn't think he could do, or he's looking better than I thought he would, or sure, he's looking better than he did last year. Okay, I'm a little bit more open-minded about Kyle Orton and what he might be able to do this year.
Now, one of the things that surprises me, listening to your show, you hear people and you ask them, what depends on the success for the Denver Broncos? And it's amazing how many callers say the health of Kyle Orton.
Isn't it funny how it's almost now Kyle Orton has gone from being the perceived weakness of this team, perhaps being one of the strengths of this team that you'll be able to depend on. The funny thing about this offense is that I think Kyle Orton in the passing game can have a very good year, but I'm concerned about other factors that may not allow them to have as good a year as I think they can have, mainly the offensive line. I like the promise of guys like Zane Beadles and J.D. Walton, okay, but they're young. Ryan Clady and Ryan Harris, maybe one of the best bookend set of tackles that you have in the NFL, but health issues with them. So there are a lot of issues with this offensive line. Mix in the uncertainty at running back with the health, and is Noshan Moreno, Correll Buckhalter going to stay healthy? Can Noshan Moreno take his game to another level, his second year? So I think that there's reasons to be optimistic about Kyle Orton in this passing game, but will the offensive line and maybe a lack of a true running game hurt their chances for them to show what this offense could be all about?
You know, and we talk about health being a big part, you know, of the success for the season. So when we come back, I want to talk about Orton's backups now and how much they play a factor into the season, and then we'll move on to the wide receivers as well. When we come back, we'll talk more Bronco talk with Mike Evans on Colorado Sports Connection.
No matter where in the world you are, everybody loves pizza. And from coast to coast, everybody knows there's no pizza like a New York pizza. Right here in Colorado, there's no pizza like Big Bill's New York Pizza. If it's pizza you want, then Big Bill's is the place. If you're even thinking about another pizza joint, forget about it. Come on in and see for yourself why Big Bill's New York Pizza is Colorado's best pizza.